Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another Burlingame. It's a small town podcast sponsored by the Burlingame Historical Society. This is Mark Lucchese, also known as Mark at the Mic, and my guest today is Nina Dees, a longtime Burlingame resident, graduate of Mills High School and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Nina still makes Burlingame her home, as well as her several businesses and projects. She is an entrepreneur, having established multiple businesses, 4 of which we will talk about today. Twinkie D Star, with various themes and characters which incorporate education and entertainment at the same time, including face painting, balloon art, puppets, and comedy magic. Mrs. Holly Claus, professional merriment maker. Events Magic, for meetings, parties, and special events. And she even finds time in her cottage kitchen to create her confection business, Candy Confections. You choose your candy and Nina will make it happen. And now my conversation with Nina Dees. Nina, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mark. Thank you for inviting me to be here. It's very exciting.
I hope it's exciting, and we're going to make it even more exciting throughout the interview here. So, Nina, I got to be honest with you. I am pumped up today. The sun is out, The birds are chirping. Daylight saving time's about a week away. I got adrenaline running through me right now, so I'm going to try and calm it down a little bit. But anyway, thank you for being here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to open up with some of your journey. I mean, you've been, like I said in the intro, you've been around Burlingame a long time. You've created a lot of businesses. We're both very fortunate to still be able to live here in Burlingame as well as worked in Burlingame like I did for so many years. So I'm going to give a little bit of your journey, and then you're going to kind of fill in some of the gaps for me as we move along. And then we'll talk about some of those great businesses that you've created and they're still going. All right? Is you good with that?
Oh, that sounds good.
Good. So like I mentioned in the intro, you're a local girl. You graduated from Mills. You went on to attend, graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Meantime, you have taught at San Francisco Fashion Institute. You were a personal shopper at American Girl, a fashion stylist executive for many years, and a floral designer, as well as some other very unique tangents, right, in life.
Yep.
I want to make sure I have this right. Your father was a teacher and a coach at Mills High?
Yes.
What did he teach?
When he first started his teaching career, he taught history. And because he was an athlete, he played semi-pro baseball.
Right.
He segued to be the athletic director and did sports. And so that was his true love. But he also brought in some very unique subjects like Frisbee and fishing.
How cool. Really?
Yeah.
At the high school level?
Yeah.
How cool is that, huh?
Yeah, he was an avid fisherman, and so...
Yeah, so he brought it to school.
Well, yeah, he would take the kids out and on the boat and teach them how to fish and bait the hook and all that stuff.
Oh, wonderful. And let's see, your mom was a legal secretary, correct?
Right.
Was she locally, or did she go to the city to be a legal secretary?
Redwood City at the courthouse. She
great.
was in probate investigation.
Oh, man. So she kind of worked for the county then, or the state or something? The county?
Yeah.
Terrific. What was your major at Cal Poly?
Well, I had a double option. I majored in graphic design art and a minor in speech. And I also had a concentration with management.
So those majors or those studies that you did sort of inspired you to become this entrepreneur that you are today on the peninsula?
No, I had already been in my business for 5 years when I went to college.
So you had started something in high school?
Yes. I was 15 years old. And we could skip to that if you'd like.
I'd like to. Go right ahead.
Okay. I was on California Drive for 13 years, right near the fire station, which was a great location because all the cars would have to stop and look in my window.
Was that Deesigns?
Deesigns,
yep,
right.
I think I remember that.
Right. And I actually started it because people wanted to buy my projects that I did in school, and I got to sell them at Art in the Park. And I didn't know anything about business, so I contacted Karen Key, the former director of the Chamber of Commerce, and asked her all kinds of questions about business licenses, business insurance, business cards, purchase orders, and she was instrumental in helping me launch my business. I went door to door to the different merchants at Christmas time and asked if I could paint their windows for Christmas.
Would this have been on Burlingame Avenue, I guess, or what?
Broadway and Burlingame Avenue.
Terrific.
And some years I would do over 100 stores, which took a lot of planning, and I would route myself. If it was the store had lights, I could do it in the dark and start really early, or if it was raining, I could be under an awning. So that was my client base.
Yeah. So you would do over 100 merchants.
Yeah.
That's like working a lot, right? That's like a couple of weeks ahead of time because it takes a while to put those window paintings.
Right. Well, sometimes they'd let me start before Thanksgiving, but it was absolutely every day.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. And so those merchants, when it wasn't Christmas, they would ask me if I could do different projects for them. And so that's how the business sort of organically grew.
Yeah. So you had that office on California Drive for quite a while, right?
Yeah, but before that I was on Rollins Road.
Oh, you were on Rollins.
Yeah, and before
Okay.
that I was on Park Road.
So Park was actually the starting point?
Yeah, I had a tiny little place upstairs, and it was located between Buns and the Unique Bride.
Gosh, you say two great places from a long time ago. Buns was a hamburger place, basically, wasn't it?
Well, not
Give or take? No? Yes?
No, Buns. The proprietor had a really great little restaurant, and he had like fondue for dessert.
Okay.
He was really personable. He'd come out of the kitchen with his towel and greet everybody.
He spelled it, though, B-U-N-Z, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of remember that. And Unique Bride, was that on Howard?
Well, the door to my office was between those two establishments.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's going way back.
it sure does. And was the bowling alley still around at that time?
Yes, it was. It was on the other side of the building,
Yeah.
and the view from my tiny office was the wall of the bowling
Yeah,
alley.
that was Primrose Lanes back then, folks.
Yes.
This is good little history, too. See?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I painted a super graphic of my logo on the wall of the bowling alley while I was on the fire escape, so
Oh,
I would have something to look at.
That's great. So how long were you at Park before you made your moves then? From Park to Rollins to California is how it
I
worked?
think it was a couple of years on Park, and then Rollins Road, I was there for quite a while. I expanded from one office and then went into another office, so they were adjoining. And then I saw that the space on California Drive was vacant, and that was great exposure with
Yeah.
the traffic, so I moved over there.
Yeah, that was, you were there about 12 years?
13.
13 years. And that was great exposure because if you were driving to Broadway or coming from Broadway, you would have those great graphics out there, out where everybody could see them, right?
Right.
Yeah,
It
great stuff.
really helped to grow my business.
Yeah. So why did you move on from there? Why did you move from that location, from California?
Well, I didn't want to. It was a great location. It spanned 2 streets. It had 2 bathrooms, a loading dock, but the landlord needed to sell it or wanted to sell it. And so I moved to a small office in San Carlos, in an industrial park, which was a big learning experience because when he gave me the square footage of what it was, he also counted the closet and the bathroom.
Oh, my gosh.
So when I moved my furniture in, I put masking tape on the floor because I measured everything, and I had to turn sideways to get to the front counter to get through all the furniture.
So you gave up a lot of square footage is what you're saying.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute, though, on California Drive. I would work late at night because I could. I had so much space. I had 3 computers, and I could get them all going. And that's when I sort of started with this entertainment stuff, and I was working on a puppet late at night. And the next day, the girl next door, little girl, she could see because that's where her room was. And she comes over to my office, and she says, "Nina, were you working on a puppet last night?" And I said, "Yes, Stephanie, I was."
I wasn't dreaming, right? Yeah, she wasn't dreaming. Correct. That's cute. Yeah. All right. So I mentioned in the intro that you have several businesses and projects going on, but we're just going to focus on 4 of them today.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to give you a chance to talk about each one. But before I start there, who were some of your very early influencers? Who were the people that encouraged you and knew that you had a love of creativity and you could do events and things like that? You must have had some early mentors.
Well, the first supporter was my dad. He saw that I was really creative and everything came easy to me, so he arranged for me to take art classes in summer at Mills High. And I was only in 6th grade then when I was taking those high school classes, but I felt so important that I was with the big kids.
With the high schoolers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And learning all their stuff. And so he was really very important and supportive. Then it was my teachers.
In grammar school or elementary school, I guess you would call it, were they the ones that kind of...
the 6th grade teachers,
Yeah.
she pushed me to do more creative stuff, and high school was very important
Right.
with my art teachers. As I said, I was able to sell some of my projects at Art in the Park.
How was that? Was that successful for you?
Yeah, it was fun. They didn't charge me any rent for my space.
That's great.
And they kind of thought, what is this kid doing here?
Yeah.
But one teacher that was very instrumental was an English teacher at Mills. I don't remember her name at the moment, but we had to do something in front of the class, do a poem or reading or something. And she said that she wanted to see me after class. I thought, oh, no, I really messed up. And she says, Nina, you have a gift for speaking, and you need to develop it. I said, I do? She says, yes. She says, you need to go to Toastmasters. I said, what's Toastmasters? She says, look it up and join and tell me which one you joined. So I did. I joined Toastmasters at 15, and the room is full of accountants and lawyers and professional people, insurance agents, and me.
Yeah. So were you like a freshman then at Mills, or what, when you were 15? Were you still in 8th grade or sophomore? Sophomore, right.
Yeah. I graduated early from high school.
Yeah.
And I went to work at the airport, which was super fun because I got to meet all these international people and the flight controllers and the police officers.
Yeah, a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, the one officer, he let me play. This is going to sound weird, but I was fascinated with his handcuffs, like how they work, because they just like slap them on.
Yeah.
And so I tried it on him, and then he got his secret call. Mr. Phoenix calling Mr. Phoenix. And so I had to figure out how to unlock the handcuffs so he could go on his call.
Or how he got into this predicament, correct?
Well, we didn't want anybody to know.
We didn't want that to happen.
No, yeah. So anyway, some of my early clients are still in business. Wemax Wines and Spirits, and Celia's, Preston's Candies. Of course, it was the original owner, Art Preston.
Right. And these are people you did window art for, or other things, window art?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Art Preston, I was in there talking to him about what he wanted, and he was tempering chocolate on his marble slab. His hand was going back and forth and back and forth. And I was watching his hand, probably like a cat, when finally he took a piece of chocolate-covered marshmallow really big and popped it in my mouth.
Oh, gosh.
I had to wait for air, and forever since, I love Rocky Road.
Yeah, that was the start, huh?
You learn a little bit about everybody's business when they're your client.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because it's good for conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So your dad was an early influencer, your teachers, of course, as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Okay.
Sometimes teachers don't realize how much impact they have on students.
They can have some impact, right? And I don't think they get the credit that they're due. All right, let's talk about some of your work, okay? And we're going to start with Twinkie Dees Star, Children's Entertainment.
Okay.
When I say children's entertainment, what age group do you perform for?
All ages.
Uh-huh. And what do you mean by that? Ages like 4 years old up to teenagers, or is it you would do teenagers, or that would be a cutoff?
Well, there's red egg and ginger party for a 1-year-old. Is Asian culture. I've done baby showers. There was no children there. I did a bachelor party, fully clothed.
Yes. Wow.
I've done grown-ups' birthdays. A fun one was at the History Museum in Redwood City, and the theme was steampunk. And the birthday lady rented out the entire museum, all the floors. The theme was steampunk. And
what does that mean?
Steampunk?
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm sorry. I don't. I don't
You
know.
know, the goggles and the top hats, and it was a period of history, I think. I don't know the year, but anyway, it was.
Obviously, I don't know the year either. So, but that's great. But that must have gone on well, huh? I guess.
Oh, and the most beautiful birthday cake. She had flying keys out of the birthday cake. It was
my
like
gosh.
a wedding cake. It was like 7 tiers of cake.
Yeah.
It was a very fun party. Yeah.
Is Twinkie D Star one of the first things you got off the ground, besides the window painting and things like that?
Well, Designs was first, and then Twinkie happened on an accident. I mean, not a car accident.
Right, but by accident.
Yeah, my computers all went haywire one day at the office, and I am responsible for fixing them. So I went, okay, I'll fix this one first, then I'll fix this one, and then this one. I'm like, oh no. I did a 360 in my office in the middle of the room. I said, this is very stressful. I have to get out of here. I'm going to die. Where should I go? A movie? I'm like, no, that's only 2 hours. What about the clown convention that's in town? So they'll never know I'm not one of them. And I was dressed all in black with an accent pin at the neck and a mini skirt. And I went to the clown convention.
Was this in San Francisco?
No, the hotel was in Millbrae. It was the Clowns of America convention. It was at the hotel on the other side of 101.
Right. So did you go in kind of like, I mean, I know you were in disguise, but did you like enroll or sign for registration or anything like that, or just kind of slip in? How did that work?
No, you can pay a daily registration fee.
But you did all that.
Yeah, I went there and they were having competitions. So there's all these like large format people in primary colors bouncing, and I actually lost my breath. I'm like, breathe. If you faint, you'll ruin everything. So I went to my first class, and it was silent comedy, and the guy is running around with his feather duster. And I thought, oh, I better adopt a persona in case somebody asks me something. So I know I'll be a reporter. So I have my notebook and my pen, and I always carry my camera. So he goes to the front, and he breaks character, and he says, everyone put down your pens and notebooks, go to 4 corners of the room, get in clown circles, we're going to do clown exercises. I'm like, oh, no. They're going to know I'm not one of them.
Right.
Should I bolt for the door now? No. If you're stupid, they don't know you. Just go and do the best you can.
Yeah.
So I got in my clown circle, and they have these things, and they throw them across the circle, and you catch them, and you're supposed to be funny. So it only went one before me, and I caught it, and I don't even know what I did, but they laughed and clapped. And one lady said, that was really good, but why are you dressed all in black? And I said to her, I'm sorry, I'd rather not talk about it.
Oh, being very serious, huh?
Well, and then I went to another class, and that was skit development. So it was a grid and very technical, and that was easy. And they're like, wow, you're good at this. What's your clown name? I said, I don't have a clown name. She said, oh, well, when you hear it, it will resonate in your heart. The skies will open and rose petals will filter down upon your head.
Oh, my gosh.
And you will know.
Yeah.
I said, I can't wait.
Yeah. And when did the
Well, so I'm still in this like quasi dreamlike state, and I thought, oh, I better go call my office, see if I got any messages. And in those days, it was a pay phone,
right,
not cell phones.
Not cell phone.
So
yeah.
there's this tall guy with his arm draped over the phone, and I start to dial, and you have to wait for the message and put in your code, and he starts conversing with me, and he says, so what kind of clown are you? I said, I'm in transition. He says, I think you're a whiteface. I didn't know anything about different kinds of clowns back then.
Right.
I said, I was leaning that way.
Yeah.
And then before he could ask me any more questions, I hung up without hearing my messages because I didn't want to get busted that I wasn't really a clown. And anyway, so then I went to hospital clowning. And it's very serious, taught by a nurse and blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be a hospital clown.
And this would be at the hospital, I guess, to become a clown at the hospital. This is what, to bring patients some good spirits and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And just a little sidebar here. One of the first people when I became a clown that asked me was Stanford's Children's Hospital.
Oh, wow.
I know. So anyway, that was the introduction to how this evolved. It wasn't like planned, and I went down to the dealer's room, and I was looking at all this stuff, and I bought a pair of cuffs. I don't know why. And then I went to the nose table, and I was looking at great big round noses, and the vendor, whose name was Buttons, he was the lead advanced clown for Ringling. That was his table.
Gosh.
He goes, I'm not going to sell you that nose. I said, why? I want that nose. He says, no, I'm not going to sell it to you. He says, it's too big for your face. Nobody would ever see your expressions.
Right.
He says, you have a small face. You need a nose tip. This is what you need. I said, okay, I'll buy that one.
Yeah.
So here I'm buying all kinds of stuff, and I'm not even a clown. When I went to the face painting table, this lady, Mama Clown, has an empire in Florida. She's so energetic, and she was starting a magazine, Face Painting International magazine. So I offered to help her establish the magazine. So that was I did that for a year for her, free of charge. And it was taking a lot of my time because Marcella, she doesn't know that people have other parts to their lives.
Right.
But she reciprocated by recommending me to be education and development director for a theatrical makeup company in New York.
So does that mean you had to pick up and go then? Did you actually go?
Well, I did it from Burlingame, but I had to go to different conferences all over the U.S. and teach people how to use their products. I got to book my own events, which I like that kind of creativity of time usage. So I booked myself at the Las Vegas Halloween and Party Show and did a seminar for this is big. There's like thousands of people there.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And
let me ask you something. Had Twinkie D been born yet then, the clown, or what? Or are you still waiting for that name to come along?
Well, okay. I forgot that part.
Yeah.
So after I went to the clown convention, I went for 3 days. Okay. I went back 2 more days. And the first day when I came home, I was home at like 5 or 6 o'clock. And my roommate comes home. She's a flight attendant. And she's like, oh, my God, what are you doing here? I said, I live here. She says, you're never home before 9 o'clock.
Right.
And I said, you're not going to believe what I did today. She goes, what? I said, I went to a clown convention. She goes, oh, that, you'll get over it. I said, like that happens every day? And I said, if I were to be a clown, what would my name be? I said, my new friend, Daisy D. Dots, says I need a 3-part name if I want to be distinctive. And I want to be distinctive. What if I was called Twinkie? She goes, I can't believe you'd want to be called Twinkie. I said, you're laughing. I haven't done anything. And then I said, Daisy uses dots because she likes dots. I like stars. What if I was Twinkie Star? And I said, no, that sounds like a stripper. I can't do that.
Right. Stripper, yeah.
What if I was Twinkie D-Star? The little kids would like that, and my friends could call me Twink. Mm-hmm. So that was my name. So I made my costume, and this was in the spring. So I made my debut at the Redwood City 4th of July parade in my homemade costume, and all I was being friendly. I didn't know anything about really being in a parade. And the most curious thing was, I think I need to go to clown school. So a month later, I went to clown school in Minnesota, taught by a former Ringling Brothers clown, where I learned how to ride a unicycle, walk on stilts, work with puppets, put on makeup.
Yeah, that had to be pretty intense training, I guess, huh? To learn all of it. You were there for a week?
A week, yeah, no, it is very intense.
Right.
And plus, I always take additional education.
Yeah.
But so there I figured out that I needed a professional costume, so I drew it, and I had it professionally made by the lady that ran the camp. It cost $1,000 for the shoes, the tights, the petticoats, the wig, everything. It's very expensive.
And that was way back then, right?
That was back then, yeah.
So it'd
now
be a
it's
whole
even
lot more today.
Right.
Absolutely.
So the next year, I went to that same parade, all packaged and polished, and I've got my walk around. That's what you do side to side as the parade is going forward. And I heard a little voice that was coming. She was between her dad's legs on the sideline watching the parade. And she's like, Twinkie, Twinkie. And I'm like, who even knows me? Who knows my name? And I went over, and she's waving vigorously. She says, Twinkie, I remember you from last year.
She did?
And I'm thinking, oh, you mean when I was so awful and I didn't know anything and my costume was terrible? I was thinking that, but I didn't say it. I said, I remember you too.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah.
Right. She must have loved that.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And some of the things I learned from other people was to have different characters so that you can apply yourself in all different kinds of settings. And so that's where all my different characters originated, with different costumes to match the themes of the event.
And that's still going strong today.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And you visit schools, you visit homes.
I do corporate events, communities, private parties, malls, formal weddings. I've worked on cruise ships. I worked at the Magic Castle in Hollywood, the Castle Noel for Santa Day, hospitals, churches, hotels, parades, fairs, festivals. I was at the State Fair in Sacramento, and I asked them, what do you want me to do? And they said, just be. I said, just be?
Just be.
I said, oh, I can be.
Yeah.
I can be really well.
So if you go up for the California State Fair, you're up there for a few days then, or what?
Yes.
Do you still going up there?
I don't do the fair. I have a lot of stuff going on down here.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
plenty to go on down here. Okay. Wow. All right. So thank you for that. That was Twinkie D, right?
Twinkie D Star.
Twinkie D Star. Boy, that is amazing. Over how many years? When did that first come up? Like in the early 2000s or prior to 2000 or what?
I'm in my 26th year.
Good for you.
And I have
26.
one client, a corporate client, that has hired me every single year.
That's great. Good for you. All right. How about Mrs. Holly Claus, professional merriment maker? Is, the Holly, did you make that name up, or has that always been Mrs. Claus's name, Holly? I never knew that Mrs. Claus had a first name. Did she?
Well,
Or does
actually,
she?
every Mrs. Claus and every Santa Claus uses a different name. Like, I was named Holly Claus by my friend in Ohio, Santa Wayne, because I said, oh, what would be a good name for me? And he said, how about Holly? I said, yeah, I like that.
Okay.
So he named me Holly Claus, but that's how you know who you're getting.
Right. So how did the whole idea of Mrs. Holly Claus come about?
Well, I always go to different conferences for more professional development. And at one in Newport News, the organizer told me, "Oh, you really have to go to Santa Day." I said, "No, I'm not doing that." He says, "No, you really should. You should go to the Mrs. Claus's track." I said,
And where was this? When you say that, where were you going?
Well, the conference was in Newport News, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so the people come from all over the U.S. to
Right.
these things. So he says, "No, I think you really have to go." I said, "All right, Steve, I'll go." So it was a small group of ladies in there, maybe 20, all different shapes and sizes and ages. And they were so nice and giving with information. And what I learned was, you don't have to have a specific look. You don't have to be round and wear a muffin top hat to be Mrs. Claus. You can be your own Mrs. Claus. And so I styled myself to reflect my character. And what can I segue into the enchant thing?
Absolutely you can. You bet.
So I was hired by Hallmark at their Enchant Magic to be their Mrs. Claus for 6 weeks straight every day.
And where was this going to be?
They had them all over the United States, but the one that I was at PayPal Park in San Jose,
Right.
where they transformed PayPal Park to be a light maze, a village, ice skating, magic stage, cocktail bars. There was a vodka bar in the ice room. It was just incredible.
Is that still go on today? Is
They
that
don't
still
have
around?
it in San Jose anymore.
All right. So anyway, you got a thing to go there.
Well,
like
I
a
had
gig.
to audition.
You had to audition.
I did a
Wow,
video
okay.
audition, and they gave me a script, and I had to perform it. and have it filmed and then send it to them. So out of all the applicants, they picked me.
Terrific.
And I asked them, after I was sure I got it and signed the contract, so can I ask you, what was it that made you select me to be your Mrs. Claus? And they said, we wanted someone more youthful.
Really?
So they didn't want the traditional Mrs. Claus that I thought I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
They wanted me.
Right. And you were youthful, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. So did that go on for more than 1 year, or was that a couple of years?
They don't have it in San Jose. They've closed a lot of the different cities.
Right.
There's a lot of logistics involved, but
bet.
it was a very expensive ticket. But I told all my friends to come see me there. I had my own space, a 30 by 40 foot space with sofas and beanbag chairs, a fireplace, and I told my investment counselor from Fidelity. I told my doctor. I told my friend who lives in Serbia, and she came to see me.
She came from Serbia? That's crazy.
Well, she fit me in.
Right, she fit you in. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What were you expected to do in that big lounge area? I mean,
Well, Mark, that's a very interesting question because I said, what do you want me to do?
yeah.
And they said, whatever you want.
Right. I mean, most people are looking for Santa. I guess, right? They sit on Santa's knee and have a picture taken or something like that. And what were they expecting? Go ahead. What were they expecting Mrs.
I was
Claus
separate
to
from
do?
Santa. They had 4 different Santas, supposedly on every night at different locations, so
Right.
nobody had to wait too long. Because there are like 40,000 people that go to this.
Man.
It's huge. Yeah. So when they said do whatever I want, again, it's free creativity.
Yeah.
So I got my musical bells and I printed up letters to Santa that they could write. I got a mail sack. I sang songs. I did puppets. I read stories.
This was all on your own. No
Yeah.
script, in other words. No, like this is what you want. Like, I don't know, what a syllabus or something that when they hand out at
No,
school.
no,
right.
it was
This is
up
on
to
your
me
own. That is really creative.
to come up with our performances. And sometimes families would come back twice.
I bet. Yeah, they had such fun. Oh, man, that was a big ticket, though, to come back twice, right? I mean,
Well, all the stuff going on there.
yeah.
And food and this and that.
Yeah.
And
And
they
how
had
long did that go on for? A few weeks? 6 weeks?
6 weeks, yeah. It was from Thanksgiving to New Year's.
Awesome. Did you do it just 1 year only?
I did.
Yeah. So when you did that, though, you had to sort of suspend all of your other businesses while this was going on because this would take up a lot of your time, right?
Well, I had to be very conscientious of my time management because I could still do parties earlier in the day because I didn't have to be there until 4 o'clock.
Got it. So
Yeah.
you're still able to manage some of the other things.
Right.
but
Well,
that-
it was a terrific opportunity.
Of course. Yeah. So as Mrs. Claus, and you're still doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do? Make house calls or do you go to party events or what happens there?
Well, I can do home visits. I can do cookie decorating. I did a country club. We did a baking class where we made cupcakes from scratch. That was quite an endeavor.
I bet.
But it came out really well.
Yeah.
I do story time, hot cocoa bars, tuck-ins at hotels.
How do people find out about you and what you do like that, though? The Mrs. Claus thing. I mean, you don't have a website for that, right?
No.
Is it word of mouth?
I have a big Facebook presence,
Right.
which is really easy for me to update and whatnot. I probably should do a Mrs. Claus, but usually it's just referrals.
And do you get repeat business?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because Mrs. Claus, it's not just a costume. She's warmth, tradition,
Okay.
reassurance, and children just don't meet her. They are drawn to her.
They're drawn to her. That's great.
Yeah, and there's pocket magic, and I have
Yeah.
little gold dust, and I rub it on their hands and have them make a wish.
So motherly, huh? Nina, you were so motherly, Mrs. Claus. I love it. Okay. What's the most memorable reaction you ever had from a child or a family?
Well, I do think it was that incident at the parade, because as I said, I was very critical of myself that I wasn't doing anything properly. And when the little girl remembered me, and she was probably 3 the first year, 4 the second year, for her to remember me for a year.
That's so sweet.
When you're only interacting for a minute or two.
Right.
That was really touching to me.
Absolutely. And that's a pretty big parade down in Redwood City for the 4th of July.
Is.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Back in those days, Twinkie was a white-faced comedy clown, but very cute, not scary.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the parents grew up with the scary clown movies.
Yeah.
So Twinkie doesn't come out too much. But back then, it was okay.
Yeah.
And so when I was getting ready for the parade, I could do some goofy things with the crowd. Like they had the bagpipers.
Yeah.
With
wow.
their kilts,
okay.
right?
Right.
And they're watching me, and I'm sneaking up to him because he's standing very perfect and straight.
Like you're going to pull a kilt up or something?
I did. I peeked. And they're all howling, laughing, and he didn't
great.
know. And somebody took a picture.
Oh, cool.
I made it into a magnet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Has Twinkie changed then over the years, or are you still the same Twinkie look that you had 10 years ago today, or how have you evolved that over the years?
Well,
and I know we're going back to Twinkie for a minute.
That's okay.
But, yeah.
Okay. Twinkie doesn't wear the white face makeup anymore just because, sometimes people say, oh, I don't want to clown, but they know me now that they don't even ask for that. I say, what's your theme? It could be Hawaiian,
Right.
It could be pirate, it could be dinosaurs.
Yeah.
With the one party, well, it's not a party, the corporate event, they change the theme every year, and it was dinosaurs. So they had a 10-foot tall dinosaur come in, and I was in my safari outfit.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. But no, so my main character that I like, I call her Twink. It's this one with the red jacket and puffy skirt.
I wish people could see this right now. I mean,
She
we're
has a
audio
long
only,
braid
but this
and a
is great.
sunflower on the front of her hat.
Yeah.
Because she's very user friendly.
Yeah.
She's a fun one. But as I said, now people they're just astounded. The one corporate, I don't want to, I don't know if I should say the name, but they have a hospital. And they're like, we can't wait to see what you're going to wear for your costume this year.
That's great. So you're very flexible. You change with the times or whatever, and you change with the event, etc.
One year they're, and they have the menu to match the theme. It was Africa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
This is a very sensitive subject. I can't be African.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, but I can be on safari. So I put an alligator on my pith helmet and wore a lot of leopard print.
And made the change.
Yes.
Terrific. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Events Magic? And that's what for meetings and parties and special events, right? So in a few words, what is Events Magic?
Well, if somebody's going to plan a party and they really don't have time or don't know what to do, I could take care of all the details for them.
Any age, adults?
Any age.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could do the invites, the menu, the decor, the entertainment, if they want a DJ, if they want a band. Something that falls under Events Magic is one of my new businesses, and that's fabulous foam parties. People don't really know what fabulous foam is.
I don't, so tell us what a fabulous foam party is. It sounds interesting.
It's completely fun. I have a piece of equipment that shoots out foam to be 5 foot deep. I can make it as high as I want to, and the foam is biodegradable, doesn't sting the eyes, stain the clothes, hurt the plants. It is not slippery.
So if I was going to do one, would I have to have a Play-Doh swimming pool in the backyard to do something like that, or what? I mean,
I do it on the cement, the driveway.
Yeah.
And I just need access to electricity and a hose.
Wow.
And I supply the music, lots of wild, crazy, fun music, beach balls, and the kids, I suggest they be in shorts or their swimsuit and bring a towel because it's activated with water to make this fluffy foam.
Right.
And so they're going to get a little bit dewy.
Do any adults play in this foam game?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, great. When you do an event like that for Events Magic, what's the average length of an event? Well, you're there for a half hour, 2 hours.
Well, the foam parties, sometimes they want me to do add-ons, like do the balloon twisting. With the foam parties, though, you don't want to do face painting because then it runs off. but it depends what they want. I'm really big on games because
Right.
I have a lot of active games that I invented. So it depends on how much space they have and their budget.
Yeah, so you would naturally say to somebody, well, how long do you want the event to be, right? Or what would you
How
have
many
in mind?
guests?
Yeah.
How many guests? If it's just a birthday party, then I can accommodate up to 20 children for the party package. If they go over 20 children, we have to look at another half hour.
Right.
And I try to factor in if there's a long commute to get there or a bridge toll. It's sort of, I have to give them a really respectful number.
20 children would be an hour at least?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you have 25, an hour and a half.
Yeah, and like you said, you have to figure in if you're going to have to cross a bridge or anything like that.
And traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you typically try to stay in the Bay Area, I guess, or on the peninsula, or what?
Well, I've done Sacramento. I've done Hollywood. I've been in the Caribbean.
You've done Hollywood
Yeah.
and the Caribbean?
The Caribbean and
Was that like on a cruise or
Venice
something?
and
What?
the Greek Isles. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is for Events Magic.
This was Twinkie.
Twinkie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I have a new one coming up for Events Magic where a very elegant clothier wants me to produce his big anniversary party. So it won't be like out of control. It's going to be at his store. But his garments in there are beautiful.
So without naming names, is this going to be somebody that's local in the
Yeah.
area and on the peninsula, the Bay Area?
San
something?
Carlos.
Wonderful.
And his merchandise is from Italy,
Yeah.
France. It's exquisite.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Wow. So Nina, when you're doing all of these projects and works and things like that, are you working alone, or do you bring along an assistant, or do you have a crew that helps you out?
Well, depending on what is supposed to happen, yeah, I have assistants that I hire, and they're fully insured, and I train them. I also have colleagues that I work with. So if it's a big event and say they want 3 or 4 balloon twisters, I have people that I can count on. They are professional, and they do a great job. So, yeah, I do have people I work with when I need to.
Right, and it wouldn't really matter if it was Twinkie D or Mrs. Holly Claus or Events Magic. It doesn't. You would have if you need the people, you would get them to help you with whatever event it is, right?
Right, and I have costumes for them, so they look like a part of the program.
Yeah.
I have a badge that they wear that says Kids Assistant when I
Right.
do the Redwood City celebration. That's an 8-hour event. And so my assistant does crowd control and makes sure the kids know what they want before I get to them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It just depends on the work.
Right.
And what you're going to need. Yeah.
Right.
So when I used to be at Molly Stone's, we would take these, the HR director would arrange for retreats. They would be like 3-day retreats away from everything, kind of a think tank, but there would also be fun things that we do during the day. So if they were to call up Events Magic and have you come out and do something, what would you do for us?
Well, here again, it depends on what time of year, how many employees, is it going to include the public? Do you want it to be somewhat educational or just play? I did a really fun event at the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay, and I told you my games are really famous.
Yeah.
So I have this one game called Stuff Your Pants.
Uh-huh.
And so I got the 2 CEOs to put on long johns with the trapdoor on the back. And then the employees or the staff, there's 100 people there or
Right.
something. They blow up these little 5-inch balloons and they stuff them in every part of the long john, the front, the back, the ankle, the waist, the neck. And pretty soon, and I have fun circus music, and I'm announcing, oh my God, it's so close. I can't
Right.
believe it. This is the best I've ever seen. So then the race is first to see who uses up all the balloons, and you'd be surprised. A lot of these people don't know how to blow up a balloon or tie the knot.
I know.
So I have to demonstrate, or if I see one team is falling behind, then I have to assist and
help them catch up a little bit.
Hand them
keep
the
it
balloons,
competitive,
right?
Yeah.
And so then I've got to whistle like a coach. Thanks, Dad. And I'm like, okay, I think we have a tie. I can't believe it. Because nobody's ever a loser, right?
No losers.
And so that's the first part. And then I have the two guys join hands and in the victory, both hands above their head. And I said, but wait, that's only the first part. The second part is who's going to be the first one to pop all the balloons? So the first reaction is for them to fall on the ground because they think they're going to pop.
Right. And
they
don't
bounce
pop.
right back up. The whole body bounces up. So that's hilarious. And then the people start pinching them and pulling them out and stomping on them. It's great fun.
Yeah, I bet.
And then...
Did you just make this up? I mean, this was something that you just thought up off the cuff, I guess, right?
Yeah, I like to make my own games. There's lots of them.
Yeah.
And so then whoever is the winner, then I put a crown on them and they take pictures.
Yeah. So that's something you may have recommended to our HR director at Molly Stone's.
Well, some of those games, because team building is a big thing when you're having these kinds
they
of
are, yeah.
company
And that's fun.
team building where everybody can talk about it afterwards and play and have fun.
Yeah, and everybody's taking pictures and all of that thing.
Right, right.
Good stuff.
There's well, I don't want to tell you all my games, but
Yeah, it's okay.
I got others. But the foam thing would be good for your Molly Stones.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would be great fun.
Why don't we talk about what I love the most, your business, Candy Confections, because I love sweets, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to touch on that a little bit. So what kind of confections do you make?
Well, I make what's referred to as artisan chocolates, things that aren't readily available in the stores. I use real ingredients with real butter, real vanilla, fresh nuts, all made to order, unique items with superb packaging.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some pictures here. It's like a nice card you have made up, right?
Yeah, I thought.
Do I see Rocky Road in the bottom right-hand corner?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, that looks terrific. What are some of these other things that you have made here? And I
Well,
wish
let's
our folks
see.
could see them out there.
We've got pretzels with pizzazz, popcorns with pizzazz, jumbo marshmallow pops, Victoria toffee, coconut.
Victoria toffee. That
Yeah.
sounds delicious.
The one customer who ordered that for his wife said it was the best he had ever had.
Yeah.
Cake pops. I experimented with transfers and gold leaf powder. I also have
Where
here.
did you learn candy making? Did you go see Irene Preston down at Preston's or something? I mean, where did you just
Irene
didn't-
was not a chocolatier.
Well, okay.
No.
Thank you for that.
Wait, I have to tell you about the last one.
Okay.
Okay, the coconut bird's nest with the molten milk balls in the middle and caramel at the bottom,
Yeah.
dipped in chocolate.
You know what,
to look
Nina?
like a bird nest.
Yeah. You know what, Nina? I was kind of hoping that you were going to bring some samples today, but I guess you forgot them at the office.
You get the
okay.
mic all sticky.
Yeah. Okay. So where did you learn how to do this? I mean, you just didn't pick up a cookbook and start trying. Did you take some classes along the way or what?
Well, when I was a fashion stylist, COVID hit. So we all got laid off in all the stores. And so I started watching a channel on YouTube of a chocolatier. I think they're in Maine. And they would teach you how to do in their plant all these different things. So then I'd try it. And then after I got some stuff together, then I joined the Retail Confectioners International Association, and I went to their conference. And these are the best chocolatiers all across the United States, and they have competitions, creative competitions, like teacups made out of sugar with chocolate inside and the packaging. And this one lady, she's in Texas, she's a genius. Oh my gosh. But so I learned a lot there, and what's really neat is all the chocolatiers bring something from their shop to enter in a competition. So they display it all, and you vote on what you think is the best, and you get to taste it all.
Right.
This is a lot of candy, let me tell you.
I bet.
And then you get a box, empty box, and you can fill it with whatever you like.
How great is that? So is everybody sharing ideas though,
Yes.
or whatever? So everybody's
They're so
pretty
giving,
cool about all of that,
and they have so much fun. They love to party.
yeah.
They love to party. So the first conference I went to was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we got on our little buses. There were 3 busloads of us, and we went to all the different chocolate plants, and they gave us samples, and I forget this one, but...
Would you have gone to Hershey's?
I have not been to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But I read the book.
Right. You're right. Okay, close enough.
I read the book, yeah. But this one guy, I think it's, well, I don't know the name. He let us have hot fudge sundaes. And you could have a double scoop or a triple scoop.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, I love chocolate.
Yeah.
And in fact, in college, when I was doing my speech tournament, I gave a speech on the topic of chocolate.
Yeah.
And so I had to research it all. And I went to Guittard, which is in Burlingame.
Absolutely.
Right? And interviewed them and talked to them. And they gave me a cocoa pod.
Oh.
They have a cocoa plant in their lobby, which is very rare because it only grows within 20 degrees north or south of the equator. So here I had this pod, and I'm like, oh my God, this has got to be a rare one. I've got to do something with it.
Right.
But anyway, so I gave the speech on chocolate, and after my event, I was checking out the campus. It was Northridge. And lo and behold, there was going to be a magic show in the auditorium. And I didn't have any more events to compete in. And so I went in, door was open, the guy's setting up the stage. I go sit in the dead center front. He says, you're a little early. I said, I know, but I wanted to get a good seat.
Right.
He said, oh, okay. And so he chose me to be his assistant, and I don't know what he did, saw me in half or something. But turns out he was then the president of the Magic Castle in Hollywood.
Oh, right.
And gave me passes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a member back then.
That's a pretty exclusive castle to be able to visit, correct?
Have you been?
No, but my son and my daughter-in-law live within walking distance almost.
If you want passes, you let me know.
Yeah.
I'm a member.
Really?
Yes.
It's very kind of exclusive, like I said, right?
You have to dress up to go there in cocktail attire.
Yeah, that's what they've told me. People go there in tuxes and things like that.
And the food is wonderful.
Yeah.
You should go for the early dinner seating, and don't plan to leave before 1 or 2 in the morning.
Oh, no sweat, Nina. We stay up to all hours of the evening. Okay. Great. Okay, we're going to move on from that for a minute. All right. So are your candies, are they seasonal or are they available year-round?
Well, I try to have all different kinds for the seasons. Like I have Irish potatoes for St. Patrick's Day, which is divinity with walnuts, and it's dusted in cocoa powder, and the little eyes of the potato are pine nuts.
Oh, great. How cool. Man.
I have a Chinese New Year's where I use Chinese 5-spice on the almonds and put them in little tins, and then the Chinese coin with the hole in the middle, I put outside, tied with raffia.
Yeah.
So it's pretty when you look at it. It's not just a box.
Do you do anything special for Valentine's?
I did not do anything for Valentine's this year. I took my mom to Las Vegas.
Oh, well, that's special.
Yeah,
that's
especially since she's 99.
Yeah, boy. Where can customers find your candy?
Well, there's lots of pictures on my Facebook page for Candy Confections. And if they have something from their childhood that they can't get in the stores or they miss, in the South, they have these things called Buckeyes, which are chocolates, and then the color of the chocolate is different. That's why they call them Buckeyes.
Uh-huh.
If they have a certain flavor they like, peanut butter or almond or cinnamon, then I could give them options. But they should probably get my phone number from Facebook or jot it down now, 650-464-6166. Text me and give me enough lead time so that I can, if I have to get something special, that I have time to do it. And everything is fresh, made to order.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have a storefront. I had my eye on this place on California Drive, a corner store, but I was just too late.
Right.
They rented it to some office people and blackened all the windows.
Yeah. But right now you do everything from your cottage kitchen,
Yes.
and that would be a kitchen that's really at home that's been approved by the state or the health department or the county, et cetera, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's terrific. Man, busy lady. Do you ship outside the California?
I do.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. One year I was going to the post office every day practically.
Yeah, I bet. That's great. And it must be busy during the holidays for you, I guess, huh? Not just Mrs. Claus, but doing the candy and other events happening. So, which kind of brings me up to this. You're wearing a lot of hats, okay? You have a lot of creative ventures going on. How do you balance everything? I mean, you might have 4 businesses all going in one day, right?
Well, I have to have precise time management.
Yeah.
I don't sleep a lot. And all of the things I do, they're expressions of the same skill set, whether it's design, storytelling, presentation. It's understanding how people experience a moment, whether it's a logo, a character, a holiday event. I am shaping how someone feels.
Yeah. So speaking of that, what do you love most about working and connecting with the families here?
They reciprocate with their love. And one little boy, I could tell he was very bright, very bright. So I taught him how to do balloons every week. And he wrote me a note that says he loves me very much. And his mom said she never saw it till I opened it. That was it.
Yeah, that's great. That's very warm and very touching, isn't it? Man. You were a long-time Burlingame Rotarian, and I think that's where we first met each other, when you were a Rotarian. And then you are currently a Burlingame Lion, correct? Did you put on any events for the Rotary back in the day?
Well, they used my graphic skills. I did T-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. They used to do a teddy bear tea. And then I also did their anniversary booklet, which was like 24 pages, which was a big project. Came out very nice.
Yeah.
But the membership of the Rotary has diminished over the years. So I don't think they have a lot of manpower to do a lot of stuff too much anymore.
Not like back in the day, that's for sure.
No, we had 120 members.
I remember
and my
that.
Participation in that club, I did all the fun stuff.
You did the newscast.
The mystery trip, the Valentine's, debunking. So the things I got to do were play.
Yeah, were fun time.
Yeah.
Right. So what are you doing for the Lions? Are you basically just a member? Do you do anything for them or what?
Well, the Lions have hired me for many, many years at their Easter egg hunt, and they have me do face painting. It's a huge event. I mean, the families have to get there early.
Are you dressed up like an Easter bunny or anything when you do the Easter egg hunt? Or are you just like, hey, there's Nina?
No, I never do big heads. I do Dee Bell. She is she's got a big hat with a big bow, a big skirt. She has a parasol, something you'd wear at Easter.
Right. And you're out there in the lawn area where they have that Easter egg hunt and all that kind of thing.
Right. And they also do the pancake breakfast.
Yeah.
So that is a huge community event. It's very fun. So one of the members there, Eric Winkler, he recruited me to be a lion, and he's relentless.
Oh, he is. He's my neighbor, by the way.
Oh, well, he's relentless.
Yeah.
So there I was. And the Lions is a really warm group of people, and they do so much for the community.
Yep.
It's nice. I can't go all the time, but they don't give me grief about it.
Right. And you know what? Easter is kind of early this year, I think. So I guess you'll be at the Easter egg hunt
I
this
will,
year?
yeah.
We'll look for you.
I save the dates for all my corporate people.
Yeah. What has been the biggest challenge in building and maintaining all of these jobs? I mean, it's got to be challenging, huh, for you?
Well, I dislike the back office stuff. I love marketing because I like making it easy for people.
The back office stuff would be like the billing and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Trying to invoice people and making sure you're getting paid and et cetera. Yeah.
I guess never mind. Anyway, I like to make it possible for people to discover me.
Yeah.
And then it's a slam dunk. Every year they hire me back.
Yeah. I mean, man, you're still going strong, right?
Sometimes it's really odd, but college students will come up to me and say, "Oh, you did my birthday party when I was 5." I'm like, "Shh, don't tell anybody."
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I'm just wondering, do you have like a personal motto for yourself or a chant that you would just say, like, keep going, keep going? I don't know, just like I use for myself, don't give up, right? Just don't give up. And even when my darkest days of podcasting, when the very beginning, okay, more failures than successes. But I just told myself, don't give up, just keep going at it, right? Have fun. Do you use anything like that?
Well, my dad coincidentally also used to say, you can't give up.
Yeah, we're old school. That's why. He and I are old school.
So I guess I now think, what is the best that can happen from this? And so that gives me courage to do it. And then I sort of like say, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
I can really do this. So I do it.
Yeah. And you don't have any ambitions of quitting, huh? Or moving on or anything like that. This is just fun for you.
Why would I quit?
I don't know. That's what
On my work card, the license plate says fun work.
Yeah, fun work. That's great. Yeah.
I mean, I don't make a lot of money, but
you're surviving.
yes.
Absolutely. And you know what? You don't always have to make a lot of money. It's what you get out of it too, which is so important. It took me a long time to realize that. Absolutely. So I'm just wondering, where do you see your businesses going this year and next year? You got anything coming up that's going to be different, or just trying to promote more?
I'm going to try to promote the foam business more because people don't know what it is. And, all my characters and my professional entertainment, it's well underway. It's, and
Would
Yelp.
you put a picture of the foam thing up on your Facebook at all, or do you have one up on there of a foam party by any chance?
Yeah. I have some pictures, but it's not, I haven't made a full page for that yet, but I should.
Yeah.
I just did a daddy-daughter dance for the YMCA in Silicon Valley. And so I'm forcing myself to remember to tell people about it. So the lady called back, and I said, this would be really good for summer for the YMCA. And so she's going to talk to her committee. And so that's how easy it is.
Terrific.
Yeah.
With all of this fun stuff you do for folks, what do you do for yourself that's fun? Besides your work, I get your work is fun, but what do you do when you're not doing that?
Well, I like to travel. I like to travel a lot. And when I travel, I can do stuff like spelunking, zip lining.
Wait a minute. Stop for a minute.
What?
What is spelunking? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's cave exploration.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to the Moaning Caverns. It's, Calaveras or something up there. And it's called Moaning Caverns because you go down and then there's a big, big, wide open space, and then there's somebody at the bottom, and you're going all through on a rope. And they time it so you don't clog up with the person in front of you or behind you.
Right.
And so I got to the opening part, and I yelled down to the guy, "Is it over?" He says, "Yeah, it's over." I said, "It can't be over." I said, "Swing me." He said, "Swing you?" I said, "Yeah, swing the rope." So he swung the rope around and around. I said, "Okay, now I'll come down."
Yeah, okay. That's called spelunking, though?
Yeah, and I have gone spelunking in Kentucky, which is riddled with caves.
Yeah.
A lot of bat caves there, too. The Caribbean has bat caves, too.
Wow.
Yeah, we went in there, and the guide, we had to wear these like little hairnet things, which made us all look ridiculous.
Right, but
there's
if everybody looks ridiculous, it doesn't matter, right?
bat guana on the roof.
Oh, yeah, dropping on you.
You don't want it in your hair.
In fact, I don't even want to be where there's bats, okay? So I'm not going to.
Well, and then at the end, they give you rum punch. So it doesn't matter if everybody looks stupid.
You all get rummy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I like horseback riding and scuba diving and ice skating and antiquing.
Great. And you find time to do all of this during the year? Or
well,
some of it?
what I have come up with this new philosophy. If I have to go someplace for work, I'll try to schedule an extra day or so to do something fun. Like when I go to the ventriloquist convention in Cincinnati, there is the Mega Caverns. Well, the Mega Caverns is zip lines. 4 hours of zip lines.
Oh boy, that must be a blast.
So you wear the hat with the flashlight on it, and they tell you to wear jeans or boots, and they put the heavy belt on you so you could clamp on in case you're stupid and you fall.
Yeah.
Right? And so you zip I can't even tell you how far.
Right.
And you go to the next and you land, and then you get on another zip line and you go the other way. And then this is a long time. And then sometimes they want to like spook you and they turn the lights out of the cavern. And this cavern, it's over a mile underground.
And it gets very dark.
Yeah, and damp.
Yeah.
And the guy who owned it used to have people store their RVs under there, and then he got the idea to make it a zip line place. So it's way high up in the air, and they have these little rickety platforms, and they take your picture, and they give it to you for free.
And this is in Cincinnati.
It's called Mega Caverns. You could look it up. Yeah. It's expensive, but you got to do that stuff.
That's right. That's right. Got to take care of yourself, correct? Yeah. Okay. Because we live in Burlingame and we've been here for a long time, do you have a favorite, go-to place in Burlingame that you like to go to, either for coffee or for lunch or whatever, just to...
Well, yeah, it depends, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, right? Copenhagen is nice. Christie's is nice.
Yeah.
Young Can Walk is good. Treasure Paws is...
Do you go to Treasure Paws?
Oh,
yeah. I had the boys on the show last year. I think they're a couple of great guys. Yeah.
Today is 40% off.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So you like going looking for some maybe what they call the clothing is I don't know.
Antiquing, consignment.
Yeah, my daughter-in-law loves to do that too.
Thrifting.
Thrifting. Right. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So you'd like to go there.
Yeah.
Any other places on Broadway?
Oh, Hugo. The shoemaker.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Oh my gosh, he is, and he will take time to talk to you about his craft.
Yeah, and that is a craft.
Oh, he won. He won the best of the world, shoemaker.
I didn't know that.
Yes, you should go talk to him.
Yeah, well, I did one day, and we're getting off the subject here, but anyway, I did. He was a little worried about his English. I said, don't worry about it. We'll make it work. But that's another podcast, okay? Terrific work. And it's more than just a shoe repair. He's a shoemaker. It's a different ballgame.
He's a shoe artisan.
Yeah.
And his shoes, he wants to have them in a museum, that they are that perfect.
Yeah.
He, if somebody has a weird foot, he'll take a mold of each foot and make the shoe to the foot.
Yeah.
Whatever color. He works in leather jackets. I find him fascinating because, of course, I like shoes.
Yeah. No, he's an artisan, as you said. He's a craftsman, something that you don't find anymore.
No.
And so that's cool. All right. Good. Anything I missed? Anything you want to bring up before we close this thing out?
No, this has been fun. Thank you so much. And if anybody out there is hearing this, text me. Tell me what you thought.
Right. And how about one more time? How can they find you besides Facebook? If they go to Facebook, what are they going to just put in Nina Dees up in the...
There's Nina Dees, Twinkie D Star, Candy Confections. But the best, fastest way is to text me, 650-464-6166, or email, and I'll say it, then I'll spell it, Deesignsco at AOL. That's DEESIGNSCO at AOL.com. Because my last name is Dees. That's why it's Designs.
It all works, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Nina Dees, it's still very early here today. We started this podcast at 10 a.m. this morning. We got a beautiful day ahead of us. Thank you very much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
And thank you, Mark. It's been a blast.
You bet.
Okay.
I'd like to thank Nina Dees for being my guest today on A Burlingame. It's a small town podcast sponsored by the Burlingame Historical Society. When you have a moment, check out her Facebook page, and you can see what fun and creativity Nina brings to her various works and projects. If you're enjoying these oral histories, please give us a like, make a comment or a suggestion, and hit that subscribe button. These oral histories are a fun way to connect our community. Thanks to my Minister of Podcasts, Mike Nagler, Executive Producer, Shelby Lucchese, Director of Marketing and Social Media, Adrian Lucchese, and original music by Bray. This podcast was created and hosted by Mark at the Mic and recorded on Friday, February 27, 2026 at the Burlingame Public Library. The Burlingame Historical Society copyrights this oral history, and no part can be copied and replayed without the written consent of the Burlingame Historical Society. So until next time, everyone, see you around Burlingame. It's a small town.